What's poppin', y'all? It looks like Yeat has officially defeated none other than J. Cole, one of the big three top hottest rappers in the game. Because second week, they were both on Drake's For All the Dogs album. They both had a feature on the album. The first week, which we'll go over in a second, J. Cole charted higher. But the second week, Yeat, IDGAF, with Drake, is at number 8, still top 10 on the charts. Meanwhile, J. Cole's First Person Shooter has dropped to number 13. Now, I know some people are going to want my opinion just on the songs in general. I enjoy First Person Shooter way more. I don't know if my Drake video will probably have released by now, before I release this. So yeah, I enjoy First Person Shooter a lot more. IDGAF, like if it was just a Yeat song, I mean the song's okay, but it's not amazing for a Yeat song, nor is it amazing for a Drake song. It's just whatever, you know what I'm saying? So the reason why people were saying is it was a tight race because it was charting higher. Yeat's song with Drake was charting higher than everything else. But why did the first week it ended up below First Person Shooter? And they actually, Talk of the Charts actually gave a good breakdown on this, and I was having a conversation with Bob Lamb. It's already on my video. We kind of did like a podcast episode, and I was saying it's most likely radio. And when you see this chart in front of you guys right now, you can see IDGAF for Yeat. This was the first week, I'm almost certain. You can see the points, right? And then you can see First Person Shooter. First Person Shooter is behind, but you can see airplay, and airplay is kind of the reach. And when you look at a lot of these other songs, when it comes to streams, sales, and airplay, and the percentage of the song that's kind of like carrying it, you can see streams for Yeat is like 100%. There's almost zero airplay, 0.2 million, 0.7K for actual not physical sales, but digital sales. First Person Shooter for Drake, it's 1,000, so it's 1% as opposed to the near 0% it is for the song with Yeat, which makes a little bit more sense because there are some older people, and by older I mean probably like 30 plus, I would say, that listened to that J. Cole song or just bought the song itself. 20.3 million streams, so it was streamed a significant amount less, but it had 4.1 million on radio, so 3% radio. And I think this is what pushed it over the hump for the previous week. I'm just looking at it like, damn, this is crazy how much of an effect radio has. And just look at songs, for example, that don't even have that many streams. Like Dua Lipa, right? Dance the Night. This song, current week, for Dua Lipa is in the top 12. It's number 12, ranked number 12 for this current week. This is the previous week with the Talk of the Charts thing with the airplay. And if you take a look at it, it says right here that this Dua Lipa song, I lost my point. Where was I? Oh yeah, 53.2 million. So 53% of the quote unquote sales and the units moved for this record to chart is radio. Only 8.8 million people streamed it this week. Meanwhile, you've got pretty much every other Drake song outstreaming it week per week, but she gets carried by that. And she's got some physical sales, or not physical, digital single sales. But the streams are weak here. And there are a couple of other songs like this, like for example, Barbie World by Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice, and Aqua, 50.5 million radio airplay, 59% of that. The composition of those sales is radio. It's being carried. 6.8 million streams a week. Nobody's really listening to that. So this is just kind of how everything's moving. Now, why do I think Yeat beat Drake here? Not Drake. Yeat beat J. Cole. Well, a lot of excuses that J. Cole fans could make, and I guess we'll go through that first, is number one, J. Cole, if this was a single, it would have done better. Like, they're on the same level playing field. They were both on the album. Neither of them had a music video for this. Neither of these songs were pushed as a single first. J. Cole hadn't collaborated with Drake for a very, very long time before this. They had appeared together. I think he had brought him out on tour, one or the other. And he was like, man, this is my guy. Why do we have to compete? Stuff like that. So there's actually nostalgia and history between J. Cole and Drake. I mean, you go back to Friday Night Lights, and I kind of talked about this. This is like what it reminded me of when they had that song together. And that should be enough to push it over the hump to have way more hype than it actually did, on top of the fact that it's a great song. I mean, this is subjective. This is why I don't like to get into this territory. But I think most J. Cole fans would say that this is it's not a bad song. Like, it's a great song. And this is a great showing out by J. Cole. A lot of people were saying that J. Cole took Drake to school on this track too. So why is it not performing as well? Yeat, there's been anticipation, high anticipation, Drake messing with him for them to finally have their first collaboration. And that's a lot of hype. But is that hype worth the same amount as J. Cole reuniting with Drake, who pretty much they came up in the same class, the same era, all those memories, so on and so forth? I don't think that hype even compares to the Yeat hype. So in theory, J. Cole and Drake, this song should be doing better. And even the radio play, Drake isn't really getting that much airplay with any of these songs. So, I mean, it helped them edge the first week, pause. But after that, you would think the streams would carry or the physical sales would carry. Maybe they didn't put that much of an effort into promoting it like J. Cole and all that. But do they really have to? Because Yeat put some effort into promoting it, but they don't need to. They're names. They're the biggest names in rap. If they drop, people know. And Drake dropped an album. That's already enough promotion. You just see the feature list and you're like, oh, J. Cole, let me check out that song. So I don't think there's any excuse. I think Yeat is just the hottest thing around right now. Like, he's scorching hot. And at this point in time, at this season in the industry, Yeat and Drake, I won't say Yeat and Drake is a more desired and more replayed song by the masses on streaming platforms than Drake and J. Cole are, by a decent margin. And is that a bad thing? No. However, we have to circle it back to, okay, maybe maybe Drake and Yeat are the hottest thing right now, or Yeat is the most poppin' viral thing right now. But will that remain over 5 years? Keep in mind, J. Cole was just top 10 this year with Drake. And the song is still on the charts. It's still performing well. It dropped a couple of points, but rap isn't the dominant genre on the charts anymore like it was a couple of years ago. So they're competing with country and pop a lot more now. So the charts is difficult to stay on. But keep in mind, J. Cole, this is what? Year, oh my goodness, like 15? Year 14 of him being in the game? Even longer potentially? And he's still making top 10s. Will Yeat, this is Yeat's second year, third year in the game. Will Yeat in 12 years from now be in the top 10 or be relevant? We don't know. It's possible. But not many artists, no matter how great they are or how lit they were, make it up until that point. So that's one thing that J. Cole fans could say, which I think it's a little bit of a cope because the whole subject is, he beat J. Cole right now, and he did, in all fairness. No cheating involved that I know of or that we can see. And I think it's pretty cool to see. Like I told you guys, I like the J. Cole song more. The Yeat song is okay. I mean, I wouldn't go back and spin it very often. But it is kind of cool to see a young buck. And I know Yeat's happy about this. It's cool to see a young buck come in and do his thing and take off. And like I said, Yeat is a pretty good example of someone that got lit and did his own thing and isn't doing the most. Like, he's not out here getting in trouble. He's not out here getting arrested. He's not out here posing with guns, trying to say he's a gangster. He's just chilling. Now, some people will say, oh, the subject matter of his music. Let's keep it a buck. Most people aren't even paying attention to the lyrics that he's dropping. So I don't even think he's that bad of an influence either. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I've got to say on that topic. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.